Well, hello there, and welcome back to Freeform Disney. I'm Jeremy, my
And
wife
Natalia?
Natalia. And so, hey, it is time almost, a little bit of time to go, but we are getting close to another episode of WandaVision.
Yes.
So we are getting ready for the 4th episode now.
It's funny because it feels like it's been much more than just 3 episodes. So
Not
much has
kidding, it's
happened.
a mere hour and a half of television. Because we're not talking even 45, 50-minute episodes right there. It's even shorter than that.
One more episode is about a movie length.
Yep. Well, hello there, Geek Girl.
Hello,
Welcome
Geek
back.
Girl.
Yeah, no, I said today, I guess, will bring us up to a feature movie length right here. Well, at least that.
And we'd be almost halfway there because it's 9 episodes, right? Total.
Yeah, as I said, this will be the 4th episode out of 9. Although, again, there's an extra half hour they're playing around with somewhere because they all, as I said, all of the series Kevin Feige has said will equal out to be about 5 hours each. And there are 9 episodes for WandaVision, so there's an extra half hour floating. And he said that there's at least one episode that will be considerably longer than half an hour. And then maybe some others that will be a little longer, too. So,
Wonder what they're going to have in that episode.
going to be interesting. He commented would break the format, allow him to do some other stuff somehow. So don't know when it's coming, if that's coming soon, or maybe near the end for all the heck I know.
What's going to be fun is that probably in this episode we might address a little bit what's outside of whatever is happening,
yes.
considering the last what happened last episode.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the way we ended that last one, we finally got to see outside the bubble. So, yeah. Hopefully this time we're going to jump out there a little more. No kidding. They packed a ton into the last few episodes, the few minutes of the last episode. No kidding right there. It's impressive how much they can fit into that while still playing this lighthearted comedic sitcom most of the time.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
And how quick they can do that switch because Wanda looks so frightening during that moment. It's like, eee.
Oh, to be sure. You ain't kidding about that. As I said, you don't want to be on the wrong side of Wanda. Yeah. There aren't many... As far as our heroes are concerned, there's not many times we've ever gotten to see that kind of an anger or sitting underneath them, really, for much of any of the characters. We did see it a little actually out of Wanda in Endgame as well,
Yeah,
but
the Endgame one.
aside from Wanda, who have we seen really show some anger? It just seems like antithesis of most of these characters to actually be able to even show that. They're too much the good guys to be able to have that kind of anger.
Yeah. I'm trying to think and thinking about how Tony Stark reacted after he came back from space, but I don't feel it wasn't as much that kind of anger.
No, you're talking about when he was directing it over at Steve,
Yeah,
right?
when he wasn't doing pretty good health wise, yeah.
Oh, that little scene.
Yeah. No, I can't really think of any time that really that kind of like it's like that seething anger. It's not just anger, yelling or just throwing this tantrum or whatever. No, but this is like this quiet, this deadly anger.
Yeah, exactly. And no, I can't think of any of the heroes that we've ever seen it out of here in the MCU so far. So that's actually intriguing. Other than Wanda and Endgame. Mm-hmm. And even compared to Endgame, I mean, this was even more seething under the surface. Just... Yeah, exactly, yeah. Mm-hmm. Not really a hero thing, huh?
Yep. True. How much will we see of Sword? What's her name? Had that necklace and was commented on by Wanda.
Yeah. I mean, after all, she's seen the sword icon on the helicopter one, too.
Yes, Rocket definitely has a temper.
Rocket. Yeah.
But this is much more of like this igniting temper.
Oh, yeah. You're right. Not seething, but definitely a much more passionate, much more...
Yeah, I think passionate would be a good word for it.
Yeah. But yeah, no, as I said, Rocket seems to be allowed to have a bit of an anger.
Yeah, and we noticed that he's one of the ones who's not really portrayed as much of a hero. Like he kind of steals and kind of got into trouble for doing that. Yeah. He's much more like says what's on his mind and not necessarily careful about what he says. So yeah, you're right. It's like he's this hero, but not necessarily like this light hero. So he's like allowed to have anger, kind of seems.
I'd also say Gamora shows a little bit of anger, certainly when she's fighting Nebula. I mean, heck, think of the gun on, on her shoulder going in there. It's like, that's definitely a bit. And if Nebula counts as a hero, which I think she kind of does, I mean, Nebula certainly can hit that anger. But that makes sense because of her crossing back and forth between villain and hero, which probably can excuse the same for Gamora for that reason, too.
Yep.
Interesting thought. Guardians has characters actually show anger. What a concept.
Anti-hero, that's the word. Yes, Geek Girl, anti-hero.
Yeah, Rocket, indeed. Yeah, we got a little time. Oh, I have new images, by the way. I said we got some color in the background now for WandaVision. So I got this one right here in the back from, well, just last episode on both cases, of course. But I mean, if you actually could see the table, you'd be able to see all the rain on the table right there from the water breaking.
From the water breaking.
And then the nice one with the butterfly up. Oh, got to point the right direction. There we go. with the butterfly up over there on Vision.
Love the literal sense of water breaking. It just rained.
Yeah. You'd think after doing green screen as much as I have by this point, I'd be a little more used to, hey, if I need to point left, right hand off to the left. Left hand to point to the right.
Not intuitive.
Right.
Definitely not intuitive.
Not really. Not really.
I thank you.
Okay. So
8 more minutes. We'll see the episode.
Which we haven't had any problem logging into WandaVision here so far, so that's been nice. Mm-mm. No midnight issues of just getting really jammed up. But we'll see what happens when it gets to that finale. Oof. That could. And they've got to work on their servers and keep upping it. After all, they've been expanding more and more around the world, so at the same time, got to make sure that they've got enough to handle it. Mm-hmm. And I wish here in the U.S. that they were doing the star tab here too, but what was it? I saw a image of the star tab from, I think it's is it Denmark's version or something? Maybe Germany. I think it's Denmark though. So up a little further north. And it had all kinds of different pieces in the star tab for all the different movies that, well, you're not going to see on Disney Plus here in the U.S. anyway.
You might want to explain a little bit what star tab is.
Fair enough. For those who haven't caught it, so the Star Tab is something that Disney is adding to Disney Plus in a number of countries around the world. Really, most of the places Disney is at. So if you're talking, you're out in Europe or Canada,
except the U.S.
Yes, exactly. Europe or Canada, Australia, I think too, and New Zealand, and then they're expanding into South Korea and Japan this year, and they're doing it there too. So anyway, most of those places are all going to get a new Star Tab, and that's actually starting up, I think, next month, middle of next month, the 17th, somewhere in there. So that will have all of the R-rated content, a lot more of that Fox content that wouldn't otherwise be in there, be gated, so that way you have to say that you're 18 or older to be able to see it. It's like, as I said, yeah, envious here, because here in the U.S., Disney also has Hulu that they have a majority stake in and are probably buying the rest of it out from Comcast here in another few years. And so because they have Hulu, they're going to keep putting that stuff on Hulu instead of Disney Plus, so we get it divided. And depending on where you are in the world, there's 2 other things that they're doing instead as well. Like if you are in South America, which they just expanded to, and I think South Central America, then they actually have 2 different services. They'll have Disney Plus, and then they'll essentially combine ESPN and Star into a separate piece. So you'd have 2 services there. And then if you are in India, and there's another country too other than just India, because Star actually was from Hotstar, which came from India, which Disney bought. And so there, it's actually all on the one single platform. So there's no 2 different platforms or anything else. So there's pretty nice. But yeah, it depends where you are in the world. But most of the world will be under the Disney Plus that will have a Star tab.
Hello, Darth Scowl. And yes, definitely hyped. This episode will probably get to see a little bit about what's happening outside whatever bubble is going on. So
Yeah.
hoping.
I mean, we watched it again just within the last hour. So
Yes.
So yeah. Which hypes you right back up for it that much more. Oh, and yeah, as you're saying, Geek Girl, yeah, they use Hulu for that stuff. That's exactly what they're doing here in the U.S. So, definitely.
Maybe this time they'll get the dog for Vision and the cat for Wanda.
There you go. Along with the kids.
Yep, along with the kids.
So I
remember them too.
Right. So I'm guessing we're going to see Halloween this time. We know it's in the trailer.
Yep.
So it's either this time or it's got to be the 5th episode. I can't imagine the trailer goes beyond episode 5.
Oh, I just saw the last episode.
You're right. No, I don't imagine they would.
No.
But if so, there's a bunch of things that from the trailer that would pop up in this one if this is the Halloween episode.
Ooh, you can imagine all those characters dressed as their whatever they are, like Agatha maybe dressed as
Agnes
Agnes dressed as
mixing the two up. Yeah.
Who's Agatha?
The witch in the comics.
Okay.
Which we think Agnes probably is. It's a general theory. I mean, given everything we've seen so far, plus, heck, we know in the trailer she is dressed as a witch. So, there's a... Why is this a show I'm most hyped about? So, as I said, you might have, seen that, well, either this year or last. It was the single show I'm most hyped for, and it was before it even started, too. So, but, I mean, first off, I love the characters of Wanda and Vision. Definitely 2 of my favorite characters here in the MCU, so, right off the bat, that puts me heavily in its camp. But also, even before it started here, it was that aspect of how different this was going to be as a show. That it's not the standard fare of what to expect. That it was going to be kind of a sitcom kind of thing, sure, but with a lot of other stuff going on, and so it sounded the most creative of all the different things that were coming up this year. Like if we're talking, in the movies, probably the one that sounds the most interesting creatively actually would be Eternals. Granted, I'm more excited about Spider-Man 3 than Eternals, but still. Although that's the only movie that I'm more excited about this year.
Can't not be excited about Spider-Man.
I know. I know. And in fairness, Spider-Man does have a hook that'll make it a little more out of the ordinary, too, because his identity got revealed at the end of the last movie. So it has to play things differently. So that'll be interesting.
God, I'm so looking forward to... I hope they keep the same actor, throughout, and we see Spider-Man kind of come into his own, especially with the shifting Avengers. Mm-hmm. What's going on?
You're saying about WandaVision setting up the young Avengers. Yeah, there's been a lot of talk on that because of Billy and Tommy. And, what are the comics names of the characters?
I can't help you there.
No, I can't help myself too much. I've never read it, so it's only what I've heard. But there's superhero names of the kids that Wanda had. Anyway, point is that they are big themes there too. So yeah, definitely very much could be set up in Young Avengers between this and other pieces around. Could easily see that going that way.
Oh, Falcon and Winter Soldier, yes.
Mm-hmm.
And Loki, you can't not like Loki.
I said, yes, those are my number 2 and 3. I don't think you've ranked what your favorites would be. Not that that's kind of your thing, but
yeah, no, I'm not good at ranking things.
But everything coming up, prior to even seeing any WandaVision, what would have been your number 1 that you're most excited for?
I think it'd be Loki, just because I just love the character Loki. So tragic and fun. Ooh, 12.
Indeed, it just hit midnight. Wiccan and Speed, those are the names of the 2. Yes, okay.
Thank you for that.
Wiccan and Speed. Okay. So we have hit midnight. Let us go see if we can get this going over here. Get ready to rock and roll. And by the way, for everybody who may be new, up above me, we will have a timer up here. And so that way, if you pop in late or anything else, you'll go ahead and see the timer, and we will go ahead and be watching it at the same time as you. So go ahead and pop it up wherever you are going ahead and looking at it. And let me know in the stream, make sure that you are ready. It looks like both Darscal, Geek Girl, you sounds like you're ready. So before we go ahead and start it up.
Ooh, the image.
Yes.
Already the image just shows the
image
outside.
goes ahead and shows us being out. Okay. Oh, and by the way, everybody who is watching the stream, go ahead and click that like button to help promote it here through YouTube. Maybe we'll get some more people in here too while we're at it.
Definitely appreciate that.
Okay, so if anybody is still pulling it up, go ahead and toss something into the live chat right now, and we will hold for a second for you. Otherwise, going to get ready to go and start it on up. So we'll play a little Jeopardy song and give you a moment to toss something in there. But otherwise, we're going to start it on up.
3, 2.
Well, that might make them think we're actually going to press play at that one right there.
Oh, okay.
Unless you're planning on it.
You time it.
Go ahead. Okay. So when she counts down, we'll go ahead and start it up. Ready?
3, 2, 1. Blast off.
Here we go. Our ever popular unskippable previously ons right here.
Mm-hmm.
Putting all those sword logos together, except for the end credit pieces that were at the end of the episodes. Are we starting outside, aren't we? The way this is sounding right here. Or...
Whoa.
Whoa.
Yeah. Just reminds me of the snap.
Uh-huh. That is what it is, isn't it? It's right after she got
that's when she's coming back after the snap.
Yep.
Oh, the whole... That would be an intriguing show. Oh.
We did tease about her being a nurse the other time, but that was just sitting in there. I don't know. Wow, as everybody's coming back.
It's chaos. Oh my god.
What if you materialize in the middle of someone else?
Very creepy.
I was just saying, what if you materialize in the middle of someone else?
Ooh. Or in the middle of an object that's being moved?
Yeah.
No, there are lots of implications.
You wouldn't know you've been gone for 5 years. God, that's gonna screw with you.
Oh.
Oh, wow. So she's dead, huh?
Yeah.
You remember her from Captain Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Kind of sad we won't see her again.
People
Whoa,
pulling
started
people
here,
outside
though,
into
too.
a reality bubble.
Yeah.
Could this be during the snap?
Could what be during the snap?
Whatever's happening with Wanda's bubble?
No.
No, because we were
Because Wanda
on
was
the
snapped out
outside.
too,
Yeah,
remember?
you're right. Okay. Never mind.
But that we didn't even start with Wanda at all, but we started back in time here. Like, this is an interesting start. That definitely argues that we're probably going to play this episode much more outside the bubble, at least for the beginning, right?
And so disorienting. People got snapped. I have no
Sword
idea that they got
headquarters.
snapped. Oof.
Sentient Weapon Observation Response Division. Oh, look at this. Look at the screen back there. Things about the blip, bringing back people. Wow, there's just so much to gather right here. It's just in the background. 5 years. Ah. Wow. Tyler Hayward doesn't mean anything to me, but I'm sure people who know the comics are probably knowing all kinds of things with Tyler Hayward popping up, I'm guessing. Hey, got Photon in there. That's her superhero identity when she becomes one. But maybe it's just a fighter pilot thing here for her. As opposed to Sentient World, which it was in the comics. Sentient Weapon now.
Oh.
After 5 years worth of people just came back. I love how tied in Maria and Monica Rambeau are into Sword here. So tied into this.
Mother's a creation. Wow.
Yeah. So where is Sword headquarters? This is New Jersey now. Were they in New York then?
Good question.
I mean, considering what we had for the Avengers and whatnot being based up in New York. Missing persons case. Get to go here and
Starting
check it
in
out.
Westview.
Hey, there's Wu, by the way.
So it probably was his voice on the radio. There's a big sign.
kind of time frame.
Oh. Eastview.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of how much she can affect.
Oh,
Like she can affect all 3,000 people in there, plus people
wow.
outside of it so they don't even remember it.
Mm-hmm.
You earlier saying with the confirmed movies, the team they'll have is similar to the one in the fairly recent comics. Interesting. Interesting. I'll have to look into
Hey,
that.
there's the helicopter. It's
That
not
really is a
red.
tiny little helicopter because it's a drone. Ah,
That makes sense.
right. That does make sense.
It's only red in her vision then when she looks at it.
Yeah.
And then she's going to disappear when she walks too close.
Yeah, she's going to pop in at some point, that's for sure. I mean, the helicopter was found at the beginning of episode 2, and she popped in a little bit later. That just happened. If you're like, well, at this point, they don't even seem to know that it's Wanda in there, though.
No.
24 hours later. I mean, we know that a little bit later, that's where he goes ahead and then contact. Hey, there we go. Now Doris is in here, too. Doris? I think I had my name right. Pretty much.
Yep.
But they have to figure out it's Wanda in not too long, huh? And I had my name wrong. Anyway. And they have been figuring out the edge. If you just send in drone after it. Dang. Darby. It's Darby, right? See if I got it right this
Darby
time.
sounds familiar,
Darby
but
Lewis.
I'm not sure.
Hey, I haven't seen her that much. I mean,
It's been a while.
she wasn't even in the most recent Thor movie, but the first two.
Bold one's interesting. The bold one, the beekeeper, might be.
Yeah, well, hello there, Russ.
Hello.
I mean, whoa.
The interjoins might be
the pounding during the episode.
Yep.
Yeah. Heather's trying to figure out that, yes, we're talking about a dome.
Mm-hmm.
Or it might be a sphere, really. Because it could go underground in the same.
The beekeeper.
Yeah.
Ross talked about.
Yep, down through the sewers.
Mm-hmm.
But what happens to him? From his point of view, what happens?
That's a good question. Becomes one of the residents? Was there a resident we didn't recognize that popped up?
No. I mean, there's all kinds of residents we don't recognize, but just because they keep popping new people in there. But again, I assume he just got kicked out. That's my guess. But who knows? Oh, that is a cool table. Mm-hmm. Can I have one of those? Yikes.
I don't know. I don't recognize. Is that laugh track? That's the last laugh track.
As she's getting a signal from in there, huh?
Yep, it's laugh track.
That's the first episode. And now you know it's Wanda.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's being broadcast as a TV show, too.
Yeah.
I wonder if she was blipped herself or not.
Oh.
We don't know about her or Wu as to whether they were blipped. Jeez, I love that they're watching it like this.
Yeah.
Ooh, what are they going to think when they see this next piece, though, on the dinner? I'm guessing Wu was not blipped. He seemed to be established still in where he was.
Makes sense.
Oh, we skipped over the scary part of that one.
Yep.
Now we'll pull back and actually... Old TVs.
That's a bit of work.
Mm-hmm. Why a hexagonal shape?
Interesting.
Really, it's a hexagon. Interesting. Right, of course, from what we're seeing, but... And by the way, we saw the hexagon on the, what was it, the second episode's intro had the hexagon with the dots on the six sides.
Yeah, you're right.
And it's also how each of the episodes end as we... Or is it a diamond? That's the end. Or did the end hexagon? Mm-hmm. As you see Monica Rambeau in
Yep.
there, yeah. This tells you a lot, too.
Yes. You never saw that part of it.
What else do you say?
That's where it talks to her.
Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh. Oh man, as you're trying to figure it out here, and then even worse, what do you do about it?
Considering you don't want to send anyone in because they, yeah.
Just got a speaking part now. I love that it's jumps.
In the commercial.
Yes. What do you think about the commercials out here? It's funny because you don't know that you really started to get through the way you did because it did. Oh, that is screwy.
Now we'll see the beekeeper.
Yeah. It takes all this time to get in here.
And I love the interpretation of the hazmat suit as the beekeeper.
Oh, no kidding. Just because she can change everything and what they look like. There it crosses the barrier.
Yeah. And now it's a jump rope.
Yeah.
Yes, it's jump rope there. So it transfers.
Mm-hmm. Oh, what else did you say there? Let's see. So Wanda isn't letting the outside see anything bad about herself. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, she's
kind of cutting that out.
Cutting reality, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, is it just that she's translating everything on a delay transmitting everything on a delay, maybe? So the beekeeper doesn't get back out then, does he?
We lost another one.
Oh, there's some meta fun here. For orange women, right? Oh, jeez.
I wonder if they're going to see the part where she gets pushed out.
Mm-hmm. Well, they're certainly going to see Mata get pushed out, but what they're going to see on the inside is interesting. You know, from the inside.
Yeah, from the video.
As you're going, wait a second, they're giving kids? Well, Vision's in here. They're having kids. What do you think is that, right?
Look at that skip.
We didn't even get to see that last piece right there.
Just like E-Girl said, that Wanda isn't letting the outside see anything bad about herself.
Where is she? Ask and you shall receive.
Mm-hmm.
We're going
Now
back
we
in,
get to see what happens.
Now you see the aspect ratio changing, though,
Mm-hmm.
as we're coming back. Oof, oof.
So the question is, how much does she know what she's doing, and how much does it snap back to like fantasy and reality?
I don't know.
Feels like half a dream that doesn't know is dreaming, but then when you know, and just want to go back.
Exactly. God, that is creepy. And sad, too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't want to make me jump a little right there seeing that. Aspect ratio coming back.
Mm-hmm. Come back to that square
The end of
format.
that episode right there. Strongly echoing the first one right there. Our brothers.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, that was
Yeah,
very
definitely wasn't
different
expecting
right
seeing Vision like that. Oof.
there. No.
And that just hits like home. It's like, ugh.
Yeah. Yee. Show it there again, too, for us, huh?
So it kind of seems like Wanda knows what she's doing. And yet purposely
Yes, and.
fools herself, that she's in that fantasy world.
Yeah, I'd
sometimes.
agree with you on that. Good episode.
Yeah, I thought it was freaky when, she just gave that look, during last episode, but during this one where she was like, ee. Good question.
I don't know that I call Wanda a villain here at this point. I mean, if we're going to go standard definition, I guess you cool it because she's holding all of these people here.
Hostage.
So in a different context, I think we might call her that. But
we just have more motivation for her, but she could be considered a hero. She holding everyone hostage for her own benefit, her own, yeah.
Well, I mean, we're making her seem fairly aware of what she's doing, at least to a degree, too, which would...
Seems like it.
Somewhat, at least.
Don't know how much she's being manipulated by who knows what. But even so, it seems like she's doing it willingly.
Although, you're saying the comics say different, although from what I hear on the comics, though, she goes way further, too. Unless I'm mistaken on that. So, not just this. But also, this is told from Wanda's point of view to some degree here. Or at least from Vision's point of view, maybe? Kind of tricky. It's kind of both of their point of view.
It seems both, but it seems much more from Wanda. But definitely Vision's this outside entity as well.
By the way, this was interesting. So they only showed the critics or anybody else who got a copy in advance the first 3 episodes. They didn't get to see this. Which, considering how much this flips the script on exactly what we've been seeing the last 3, because no longer are we watching it from the point of view of watching WandaVision in a show. We actually completely went out for it here. Popped in only a little bit. So I can see why they wouldn't have shown this one. Gonna leave that shift.
Yep, self-induced delusion.
Yeah, exactly. And Mephisto and Agatha feeding it. Yeah, that question right there.
Because Agnes Agnes is talking with the neighbor, and they kind of seem to know a little bit what's going on. But
Agnes is the one that was stopping the neighbor from saying more, though, too, to Vision. But yeah, you say she's not a full villain yet. Well, we'll see if we go that way or not, right? But yeah, so many things we can do with this still.
Yeah.
I mean,
we still have 5 episodes left.
Halloween is next episode at this point.
Yep. Seems so.
So you think we're going to go back in for a fairly normal feeling episode next time?
I think so. I think this show kind of gave us a little bit the perspective of what's going on, kind of the outside. They gave us little pieces that we were missing. I think next episode we might go back to be an episode more. Maybe with a little bit of tidbits of the outside.
But even then it's going to break out a fair bit because Vision's going to start to learn more and more of what's going on because we saw it in the trailer too. So, unsurprising. So it's going to be normalish. Well, it's going to definitely start to go off the rails a little more for Vision, starting to learn more about what's going on.
But I don't think we're going to see much of the outside bubble. Like what's going
I agree.
on outside the bubble.
I don't think we're going to see much of the outside bubble next episode.
Ooh, yep. I think the action's definitely going to start next episode. I agree.
Goes away the comics, them being involved makes sense. Yeah, from what I hear, and they do love taking their inspiration there, for sure. So... definitely.
And usually there's they didn't follow the comics or, a movie doesn't follow the book. This doesn't necessarily follow it, but it does a really good job of that adaptation and maybe just pulling a little bit of pieces.
I think they always take their inspiration to some degree, regardless of which of the movies we've seen so far in the past. But that also gives them the ability to go flip the script somewhere and then also do something you might not have expected. Because as I said, the last thing that I think they ever want to do is just straight do an adaptation.
Which I don't know if it really fit the style of what they've been doing with the Marvel Universe.
Yep. Should be interesting. I mean, we know that Wanda will be in the next Doctor Strange movie. Speaking of things that she will be in, that'll be interesting in its own right. And it depends as to what her role is in there. It depends a little bit on how this ends. Oh, we shall see. So yeah, Scal, you're saying that this was kind of the prequel episode, so the next one will be the action in that sense. I mean, yeah, because this one was a little slower paced in some ways, it felt. Just because we were going back through things that we've already seen, but from an outside point of view. Let's see.
Ooh, that would be fun.
Yeah, there's definitely been talk about whether Ultron could come back. I said, definitely. Will he? Who the heck knows? Wouldn't it be even worse if Wanda is actually the reason Ultron comes back? Through no intent of her own, but to say Mephisto and Agatha are manipulating her a bit, and in the process, she ends up bringing Ultron back, the same way that she's bringing kids into things. Oh, that would... Speaking of Ultron, the image we get afterwards, of course, is advertising the Avengers Age of Ultron. I'm going to kill this timer. No need for that to keep rolling right here. There we go. Speaking of, go ahead and take those off while I'm at it.
Oh, yeah, that's good. These are tight. Thank you.
Okay. Let's see. What else were you saying there? Yeah, they changed up a lot in Ultron's storyline and Wanda's origin. So, yeah, it wouldn't be the same exactly. Yeah, just like we've seen elsewhere. But how much will they change the whole House of M storyline and what went on in there, apparently? Which I don't know from having read it, but from having heard pieces of how that worked. So, good intentions wreak havoc when Tony Stark unwittingly creates Ultron, an AI monster who vows to achieve world peace via mass extinction. Now the Avengers must reassemble to defeat him and save mankind. Yeah.
That was a fun movie, Ultron.
It was. It was really good for digging into some of the characters, too. Got some good character moments in there. Heck, we got to see Steve start to go ahead and grab the hammer.
Love that scene.
And be like, okay, hold on. I can actually grab this. Okay, I'll not grab this hammer now.
Yeah, but Thor kind of leaned like, it didn't happen.
So yeah, no, it's gonna be interesting. I'm definitely, I think in a way I'm more excited for next week's episode just because this one, the way it was and how much setup we've got out of the way in this episode, that yeah, it's gonna be more. There's gonna be more that will happen next time. More forward momentum, shall we say?
And we get to see the next iteration of WandaVision too.
Are we going to jump to another time frame? So we're at the 70s, we're going to move up to the 80s now?
I wonder how old the kids are going to be. They're going to be toddlers.
They can't be too old, though, because we saw them in the trailer, right? Although trailers lie sometimes, so who the heck knows? Heck, if Marvel hasn't lied with trailers before.
And isn't the trailer at the end... A part of the trailer was at the end of this episode with them on the couch holding each child. Wasn't that a part of the trailer?
Yeah. But there was also a piece with them standing holding each of the kids, right?
They did that when they were born.
Is that the same as the trailer? Maybe it is different. I don't know. I'd have to compare those two shots. So maybe it is different. I don't know. But again, regardless, even then, trailers can lie.
Yep.
You know, unless you saw Hulk fighting over in Wakanda over in Infinity War. As Hulk. Yeah, no. That didn't happen.
It's a nice fake out, though.
Yes. I mean, you couldn't not do it as part of the trailer. You had to go ahead and fake it out and show that. Because otherwise you gave away one heck of a plot point by not doing it. Yeah, anyway.
They haven't really seemed to fake anything out yet from the trailer.
Not that I've noticed. No. Who knows? They don't have to just because they can. So, but they could.
I am surprised though that they put like such a far episode in the trailer though.
Yeah, I mean, it's still roughly the first half, right?
Yeah.
Episode 5 in this case. That still leaves us a lot of episodes that we haven't seen right there. And that we haven't seen anything out of.
Oh, wow. One of the comics, when she went full villain, she brought all of the Avengers' past enemies so Wanda could bring back Ultron. Ooh.
Yeah.
That would... Ooh.
Yay! Ooh.
Yeah.
Funny thing is, it's one of her own villains right there, too. It's like past enemy, one of her own. Mm-hmm. So here's a question also. Wanda and what she's been doing to some of these things. Like, we saw Monica with the different clothes out there, or the thing that turned into a jump rope. Is she actually permanently changing things like the jump rope or people's clothes? Are they actually physically changed, or is that just a perception?
It kind of seems like it's much more than just a perception, because otherwise the jump rope wouldn't have gotten outside the bubble.
Except we know she's also erased people's memories outside the bubble too, though. Because they don't even remember Westview exists for some of the people that are in the nearby area.
True.
So we've seen her clearly affecting people outside the bubble.
Yeah.
Interesting to call it a bubble. It's a hexagon, apparently.
Yeah.
It's a hexagon
all random
dome.
shapes.
Interesting stuff.
Yeah.
These questions
so
and more
funny.
to be answered later.
What's so funny in the beginning, though, it's like, you're telling me Westview doesn't exist? That big sign behind you that says Westview.
The town in front of us.
Doesn't exist.
There.
That's what we're telling you. What?
Yes, what, are you an idiot? I mean, what do you think this is? There's nothing back here. That's just empty road.
Well, yeah, and they acknowledge the sign, but it doesn't register in their mind. It's really weird.
Who do we think Wanda hates more? Ultron for killing her brother, or Thanos for killing Vision? Or Tony Stark for going ahead and killing her parents? I mean, I think she's gotten past that, but for a long time she went ahead and blamed Stark for that. Well, go ahead.
Yeah, no. I would think it would be more Thanos. Especially considering the grief, essentially, if she is doing this on purpose, is kind of warping the reality, a reaction that she didn't have when she lost her brother.
Yeah, I'd say Thanos. Definitely, I would agree Thanos is who she would hate more of the two. I mean, you got to see that anger from her both in terms of how she faced Thanos and Ultron, or one of Ultron's many bodies, I should say. Because you saw her take it out on that one. I mean, it's when she left the button so the button could be pressed. But yeah, compared to what she did to Thanos later, I think there was more anger there. Although, in fairness, it also builds on it. Because this is not the first time someone's been ripped away from her. This is now another person ripped away from her.
Yeah.
And so that also makes Thanos that much more hated because it's not the first one. If you had flipped those deaths around the other way, say Vision died in Age of Ultron and she'd already had a connection to him, and then her brother dies later, Infinity War time, then it might be the other way around. Yeah, so it's not necessarily which one of the two people as much as that it's built on top of the other loss and the pain that's already there.
And there's also another added layer, too. She had to essentially kill Vision herself to stop Thanos from getting the gem, which is a whole other emotional mess in regards to that. And then it didn't work. And then Thanos killed Vision right there in front of her.
Yeah. Yeah, making you feel completely powerless.
Yeah.
Right there. Whereas she didn't feel powerless in terms of Pietro. Yeah, Pietro dying. Because
he didn't die in front of her.
No, he didn't die in front of her. She felt it when he died. But again, he was off, going in, saving Hawkeye at the time. But yeah, and so not being right in front of her, her feeling helpless on it, definitely would play a difference too. Agreed. Let's see. If we look at it properly, Stark killed her parents and her brother because he made Ultron. yes. And yet she doesn't seem to have had that kind of problem with Tony, though.
No.
When it came to it, I think in part because she felt manipulated by that, she was able to come there. And also, if you ever get to know another person, regardless of how horrible they may be, you still have that personal connection.
Mm-hmm.
And you kind of forgive them in a way. A good thing about humans or a failing, take your pick.
There was also that degree of separation too. It wasn't like Stark himself planted the missile there. Like, he wasn't a physical manifestation. It was more of a word that stuck. And so once she was able to see the person, that might have shifted that kind of view.
And also think about Ultron. You're talking about making Ultron. She herself was partly complicit in Stark creating Ultron. Because she screwed with Stark's head, knowing that would then cause him to go do something that he shouldn't do, because she knew enough about Tony and the kind of person he was from having looked in his head in that moment. I mean, she talked about it later. Mm-hmm. That his own fears, and et cetera, would become his undoing in that sense. So, I mean, there's also that in the sense of Ultron. So I don't think she would fully put that kind of blame on Tony there. But anyway, let's see. Wanda's powers are able to warp reality, so it's really changing things. Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. From what we've seen so far, it's like, yeah.
Oh, apparently at around 20-21 minutes, you can see Mephisto.
You can see Mephisto at 20-21 minutes?
Let's go check it out.
Well, I suppose we can go ahead and do that.
Yeah.
I suppose we can go ahead and try to see Mephisto at 20-21 minutes.
Thank you for letting us know, Darscal.
20 to 21 minutes. Okay. Let's also take a look at ye old Twitter while we're at it. Let's see. See what we can see. 20 to 21 minutes, huh?
That sounds like when they're about the show when they're about doing the radio.
Mm-hmm. I mean, image here on Twitter looks like we're talking about this.
But that's not what's going on with this part.
Yeah. And 20 to 21 is 2021 is before that. Start 19 to 21. Okay. What, are we just too far in? Okay, so 19 to 21. Let's pop back to 19 here. Looking for anything here.
Mm-hmm.
Not seeing anything super weird yet.
Mm-hmm.
$19 and 21 seconds.
No, I'm not seeing anything.
Yeah, I'm not seeing anything there at 1921.
Yeah.
I mean, there's fluctuations in this, but I'm not seeing anything.
The wall thing in 19 minutes and 21 seconds. Yeah.
And I can see an image over on...
No, it's not that one.
I can see an image over here on Twitter, but I'm not...
It doesn't match.
Yeah, I'm not getting it.
Movie.
Yeah, I'm not popping it up in here. So yeah, I see fluctuations, but nothing that quite matches that.
Nothing quite matches. Oh, can't quite see it.
I really don't see it at 1921. I see fluctuations in the wall, but nothing that quite looks like that image that I popped up over on Twitter. And the image on Twitter didn't say what the time frame on was. There's like nothing to see in that.
Well, so it looked like it was a close-up of somebody's, like...
Or right up here would be my guess of what we're talking about, but... Yeah, I don't see it.
Yep. By the truck?
See, there's like fluctuation in here, but it's not looking like that to me. See?
Oh well, we're probably just missing it. That's cool if we did see a reflection of Mephisto.
Indeed, if so. Cool. Yeah, I'm about good on this. Yeah, I got nothing. Nothing that really looks like anything meaningful. It's like, well. Yeah, not really catching anything there. Not saying it's not there, that's for sure, but nothing meaningfully showing to me. Okay. Anyway, what else? Anything else before we go ahead and call it?
Can't wait till the next episode, but gonna have to wait a week for that.
Yeah, true that. We'll be back inside the Matrix again. And then who knows? Who knows who we'll see? Who knows, indeed. There you go. Monica saying Ultron is what brings back Ultron, right? Because now it's in Wanda's head, and then she accidentally... Could you imagine? Wouldn't that be interesting? Well, anyway. Anybody else got anything else they want to toss over into the chat there before we go ahead and call it a night? Yeah, I said we couldn't see anything in it either.
See anything,
so, not saying it's not there, but not catching anything, actually watching the footage. I saw an image on Twitter, but I couldn't find where it came from. At least certainly not at that time index anyway. But anew. Certainly things to look more into before I will be making a breakdown video for what it's worth. As I said, I put out that poll and overwhelming response for breakdowns. So we will go ahead and put one out. Well, when I say we, I mean me. Kind of the royal we.
The royal we.
Something like that.
The royal we is going to go to sleep.
There you go.
While the royal we is going to do a video.
No. I'm going to go ahead and just script it and you'll go to read it.
Oh, that's what I'm going to do. I'll read in my sleep. How's that sound?
There you go. When am I going to start the Battlefront campaign? No idea. Not a clue.
Nike girl.
Regardless of anything else, I'm at least doing at least another week of Squadrons right now. So we'll see. And I don't know if I'll take a break from the gaming after that. See what we see. Definitely have been enjoying doing it. So we'll see. So, yeah. Keep tuning in. Keep spreading the word. Maybe if there are a ton of people clamoring for it, maybe I'll be more likely to do it. Too many things to do, not enough time. That's always for sure, though. I mean, I'm interested to do it, especially from some of the story I've heard about in there. No, I haven't played it in neither of you. So.
So
heard
many
good
things to play and do and not enough time.
To be sure. Heard good things about it, but have not played it yet. Heck, you're much more of a video gamer than I am, but even so, that doesn't mean you've actually played. You haven't exactly been video gaming all that much lately. So.
Oh, God. Real life is killing me right now.
Yeah. That means I've actually been doing more video gaming than you recently.
That you have. That's part of your job.
If only paid like a real job.
You'll get there someday.
Sure.
Next you look, you'll have like 500,000 subscribers.
Oh, there.
Goals.
As I love the subscribers I've got, though, to be sure. I mean, that would be the one sad thing about actually having a whole ton of subscribers, though.
Yeah, you don't get that person-person
Oh,
interaction.
no kidding. Because, I mean, anybody who actually has a ton, you see them do a live stream and the chat just goes way up like that. So, I mean, that would be sad in that sense.
Oh.
But, yeah, at least one can make a living doing it. I mean, there's that.
True.
I mean, what? Right now, the amount coming in, maybe in a year's worth of time, I'll get a half, maybe a half month's worth of rent. Not that much. Yeah. Anyway, neither here nor there. So, yeah, looking forward to WandaVision next week. We're doing some more Squadrons Tuesday. And then also on Sunday, going to be going ahead and popping by to do some Brother Bear. So pop that up with me. We'll watch Brother Bear together. Okay. And so, with all that said, it's going to be time to head on off. So to everybody, have a magical day or night or whatever time it is in your time zone. So have a magical day, and may the Force be with you.
Always.